Welcome back to Up North at 4, and joining us now, it's Koele with the Wisconsin DNR, and you are a wildfire prevention specialist.
I am.
I can only imagine how busy you have been these last few weeks here, Catherine.
It's been a couple days, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it's been pretty busy. But
so I do need to ask you though this, because I'm a simple-minded person, all right, hand up. I look outside, I'm like, there's still ice on the lakes, there's still, I mean, it's warm, we're getting these record highs, but I'm still seeing nice, you know, banks of snow here. Absolutely. But then I'm also hearing that the fire danger is high. Why is that? What's going on?
Well, you're not alone, so let's just start there. So this is a huge misconception. So Wisconsin's peak fire season is in the spring. So right after that snow cover disappears until vegetation fully greens up. So typically by Memorial Day, things have kind of greened up across the state. This year, you know, we're actually having a more of a traditional fire season. So in the sense that it started in the south, we lost that snow cover going up towards the north. So it is more typical in terms of fire risk this year.
Got it.
And we took a hard turn this year. We went from 0 to 100 really quickly. Red flag across parts of central and southern Wisconsin right now. Explain to people what that means.
So red flag conditions basically means extreme fire danger. So when you drive around in our communities, especially in the Northwoods, we see the Smokey Bear signs, and we see them changing. You know, there's different levels of risk, and basically the factors that go into that are temperature, humidity, winds, topography, and basically what those levels do is they're a public relations tool. So it allows us to inform the public when that risk changes. So it starts at low, moderate, high, very high, and extreme. So we are at extreme for the southern 2/3 of the entire state. So can't get any higher than that.
Right, and you mentioned too, there's several factors going into it. So I imagine low humidity, high winds, high temperatures are usually a good, or I should say a bad combination that we don't want to see.
Yeah, so you know, I was thinking about this today. So you know, an 80-degree day in the spring is very different than an 80-degree day in like June or July or August, right? That humidity comes up, the vegetation is green. So an 80-degree day with gusty winds, with trees that don't have leaves on them yet, it's all just a recipe for disaster. And we have all this dry, dead fuel from last winter, you know, that hasn't, you know, like greened up yet, and it's just a recipe for a wildfire.
And we're seeing those fires now, am I correct? I think I saw 6 or 7 fires yesterday. You said there's more happening now. What's happening out there today?
Yeah, as of right this moment, the last I looked, we were at about 21 fires in DNR protection areas across the state. We did unfortunately have about a 3,000-acre fire in Monroe County that started yesterday afternoon.
3,000 acres.
3,000 acres, yeah. And then another 100-acre fire in Juneau County. So a lot of activity. And we have a lot of fire season left, especially here in the Northwoods. So things are coming. That snow's melting.
For sure.
Yes, and so I'm sure a lot of people at home are watching this and thinking, okay, it's coming our way eventually. What can we do to kind of prevent that? Unfortunately, we're up against the clock here, so we're going to take a break. Do you mind sticking around? We can chat more about this, Catherine?
You bet.
All right, we're going to be right back here on Up North at 4. Stick with us. Welcome back to Up North at 4. We're joined by Koele with the Wisconsin DNR. You are a wildfire prevention specialist, and it's that time of year, right? And here in Oneida County, luckily we're low on the fire risk scale. Yes, today, but obviously that can very quickly change. And so, Catherine, I'm curious, and I'm sure a lot of people out there watching now are curious, what could we be doing today, this week, just to kind of prep ourselves and mitigate that risk when it moves further north?
Absolutely. So if you're going to be introducing any fire in the outdoors, whether it be, you know, debris piles, campfires, even just operating equipment in the woods, like, you know, a chainsaw, or even you're dragging chains from a boat trailer can spark a fire. So, you know, just really be aware of what that fire danger is. And Jeff does a great job of, you know, keeping up on the fire danger. Really appreciate that. So tune into the weather segments, really dial into what those conditions are when you see the humidity down and those winds get up and that vegetation really dry. And pay attention to your site, your specific site, you know, make sure things are clear, obtain proper burning permits, pay attention to those rules on the permit. It's really just designed to keep you safe. So really pay attention to those things. And
you mentioned burning permits. Where do they get those, and where can they find information on what the current restrictions are?
So unfortunately, there could be some changes, you know, depending on where you live. Mostly in the Northwoods, the DNR does regulate burning permits, and they're free. You can get them online. They're super easy. And then it basically just tells you on our web app if you can or you can't burn. So you just click on your county. But always check with local fire officials if you don't know. So the municipalities, if you live in a city or a town that may be outside DNR protection, just check with those folks and they'll help you out.
Totally. And so, Catherine, we had mentioned before about what people can do just to kind of prep, for the fire season, because you said it usually runs to about Memorial Day,
right,
roughly in a given year. I'm just kind of curious, though, from the DNR perspective, what you folks are doing now in getting ready and getting prepped and hopefully lowering that risk as it moves further north here.
As I said, the benefit about having the more traditional fire season and starting in the south, moving north, we've been able to shift a lot of our resources. So we've got a lot of folks here in the Northwoods in this low area who are down south helping out and getting a lot of training and mentorship going on and really attacking those fires. So we have a lot of resources down in the southern 2/3 of the state. And then once they green up, we'll move them more towards the north up here as well. We also have access to some air assets. So air attack, we've got patrol planes, we've got access to 3 Wisconsin National Guard Black Hawk helicopters.
Oh, wow.
And we've been using them the last 2 days on a couple of these fires. So we're staffed, ready to go, and ready for fire season.
This is all hands on deck.
And it's going to be, it's one of those seasons this year, I fear, because there's lots of underbrush that's still ready to go right now.
Yeah, I just think people are a little complacent with all the snow on the ground. So definitely, pay attention to the changing conditions because they do change fast.
Absolutely. Well, Catherine, I appreciate you coming on and informing us and informing me and how this whole setup works.
Right.
I really appreciate
Thanks
it. We are
having
going to take a break, though, and up north at 4. We'll be right back after this.
I felt